Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, I'm going to go 1 and 2.
The guy's a stud. I think he's going to be a game changer for an organization. There is going to be a quarterback in this draft class that is a sleeper that's going to come out of nowhere and go on to change the course of a franchise. Johnny Manziel here. I'm here with my boy Kurt, talking about top quarterbacks in this year's draft. A quarterback draft class that we think anywhere between 4, 5, maybe even 6 guys have the chance to go really, really high in this draft. One that we've been looking at, breaking down, really seeing who we like and really who jumps off the pages as far as this year's draft class that we have coming up in April. Kurt, what's good?
What's up, man? Glad to be here. Excited to get diving in.
You know, you got 6 really, really talented quarterbacks who have gone and done a lot of great things on the college level, who are working their way into the next phase of their, let's call it, quarterback journey, I guess. So for me, as I sit here today, you know, I've kind of got my list of guys. I'm sure you have your list of a top 6. Who's the best QB on this list? Who is the guy that you are most excited to watch?
Ooh, this one's tough for me. I've changed probably every day depending on what time of the day, especially on like the 3 through 6. I think Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, I'm gonna go 1 and 2, but it's really 1A, 1B. I like Jaden's play style more, but that's like a flavor for me versus thinking he's necessarily the better player. So for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna go Jaden 1, Caleb 2, even though I know they're gonna be drafted opposite. And then 3 for me has been JJ McCarthy for a minute, but I don't think it's him. I think Penix is my number 3 because I think Penix does things that other guys can't. And if you're gonna rank them accordingly, you got to go with that. Like you just can't discount his natural ability to be as accurate as he is and to push it downfield. And the NFL game needs that. And then I'm looking at JJ McCarthy. I'm going to go 4 with him because I really like the intangibles of what he can do with the ball in his hands in critical situations. And then with me, how I like to rank guys, I'm going to go 5 as Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix. I think he's pro ready. I think he can fit into a lot of different schemes and distribute the ball. And I kind of see him playing as a more clean version of what Sam Howell did last year. When Sam Howell took care of the football last year, he was making plays and slinging it all over the field. He was leading the NFL in passing for most of the year. And then the turnovers started coming and he got benched. But I see Bo Nix as having that type of ability. And then I look at Drake May and I think I have too many question marks about what I know is going to be asked of him in the NFL level. Not to say that he's not the number 1 draft pick in a Kenny Pickett class at quarterback. But I think in this stacked class right now, with all the different blends of these guys, I'm going to put Drake May at 6 because it's just not my flavor.
Yeah, I think it's a fair list all the way throughout. I mean, a really kind of like groundbreaking, shaking kind of thing that you say is having, you know, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels as 1A and 1B. And I mean, for me, as I sit here and look at the list, I have Caleb completely solidified at the top. You know, winning the Heisman as a junior, everything he's done, coming back with all the scrutiny to come and still play really, really high-level football. The questions have been answered for me on him a long time ago. I think Jaden Daniels is late to that conversation on who's the best quarterback in this draft class, and it has nothing to do with Jaden and everything to do with Caleb. So for me, looking at it, I have Caleb Williams at number 1. I have Penix Jr. at number 2, just based off everything that we've talked about here. I think the guy's a stud. I think he's going to be a game changer for an organization that really, really moves the needles. He's slept on. I'm seeing the way that he's moving through his Instagram socials and certain things right now, and I'm not getting too hype off what people post online, but just in the time that I've really, really watched this guy, I couldn't be higher on him. So for me, he's number 2. I have Jaden Daniels at number 3, another Heisman Trophy winner, another stud who's going to be really, really good in the league. At 4, I have Drake May, and that's kind of really where our, you know, only really differences right now are between 4, 5, and 6 of where this list is. But your 4, your 5, and your 6 are completely in the same place, and you know, just not in order of what my 4, 5, and 6 are. So I have Drake May at 4 simply because, you know, I didn't watch a lot of ACC football. I didn't see this guy ever get a chance to go on to primetime games and really have that crunch time thing that I feel that is missing from his game. That's a huge question mark that I don't have with JJ McCarthy, who's I have ranked 5. Like, I think Drake May will be a talent. I think he'll be a guy that'll be drafted early in this draft. But to me, on my list of just a QB perspective, he's not even in the category of conversation with Caleb Williams, Penix, or Jaden Daniels. And that's kind of like one half of the list, 1 through 3, and then one half of the list, 4, 5, 6, an A group and a B group, I guess,
Yep.
if you want to call it that, is the way that I would break it down. I have 5 at J.J. McCarthy. I think he's a leader. I think he's a national champion. I think he's a guy who's going to work hard, who has an unbelievable amount of knowledge based off his time with an NFL coach and Jim Harbaugh. And then I have Bo Nix at number 6, just strictly out of just how the list goes, right? Somebody has to be, at the bottom of this pecking order. I think he had a season this year that is good as anybody's, as good as Heisman seasons that have been had in the past. I think he made a very strong case and a strong argument to have been deserving of winning that award this past December. And, I think his NFL talent is there, and he will get his opportunity, and hopefully for his sake, it'll be getting a chance somewhere where he doesn't have to come in and have a lot of expectations and pressure thrust upon him. But, really out of these 6 guys, I think in totality, you can't, go wrong depending. The only really way you can is if they're not the right fit for what you're trying to do. Any of these guys that are put into situations where they're doing things that they're not normally asked to do, that takes a learning curve. That takes time. That takes developmental from a footwork perspective, from a scheme perspective, and a whole lot of other mental attributes that you have to grow and learn through your rookie season in the game. So a star-studded 6 here. And guys who I think are going to go on. I think between this list of 6 guys, there is going to be a quarterback in this draft class that is a sleeper that's going to come out of nowhere and make plays and go on to change the course of a franchise. We see it year in and year out. Guys who you think are going to be great, a la me, don't always fucking pan out to be what they're supposed to be. And then there's guys who come out and kind of come out of nowhere, who come into their full potential in due time. And it really is a tale of getting in the right situation. How's your teammates going to be in adapting you into this new life that you're living? And who's going to put you in the best position for success? Who genuinely cares about these guys enough to give them the time they need, to give them the coaching they need, and to get them up to an NFL level? Because in reality, it always comes down to that. It doesn't matter if it's you and your situation. It doesn't matter if it's me and mine, or any of these 6 guys that we really went over today. It comes down to fit, it comes down to scheme, and it comes down to a head coach and an offensive coordinator believing in the skill set of these dudes to put them in the best position, to not overload them, from a football standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a playbook, and from just a lifestyle standpoint. You look at all these guys aged from 20 to 25 years old. We know what it was like being in that position in the past, the struggles you deal with on a personal level, the struggles you deal with on a just am I gonna make it type of level. Just the questions and doubts that arise into your head as you're kind of going through this process. People think it matters where you get drafted. All you really ever need at the end of the day is the opportunity to get into this building and show who you truly are. I think in due time, all 6 of these guys will absolutely do that. I think all 6 of them will be around the NFL for a lot longer than the league average. And I think it'll be awesome and great for the game to be able to have, we're in the new point. We're in the new era of all of our old legends that we grew up with watching are now sitting in booths, sitting here talking, or sitting at home like me and you are. And that's just the reality of the situation. The days of the Tom Brady, the day of the Peyton Manning, the Ben Roethlisberger, the Eli Manning, can go down the list of guys who were staples of this league are no longer there anymore. And we are very much ushering in, a new era of NFL quarterback. You have guys like Mahomes, guys like Lamar that are doing it right now, Jalen Hurts. Like, you have guys who are young, who are doing their thing, who I think are changing, the way the NFL is being viewed. New era, new time. I think we got some guys here on this list that are truly going to usher in and help that on the quarterback side of things.
It's a new era. It's happening right now.